We've made to the sectional round of the playoffs, kicking off in 6A. Northwest taking on Manhattan on the road in Manhattan with an early pick in this one. They take it deep into Northwest territory before capping off the drive with the touchdown run here. This game, a defensive battle, but Manhattan, they end up getting the win over Wichita Northwest 27-18. Hello and welcome into Friday Football Fever Playoff Edition. I am your host, Zach Martin. The list of teams may be diminishing, but the level of play increases by the week. That's what November is all about. Playing your best part of the football for some, and some it's taken decades to get to this point. Let's jump back into the action. Derby hosting Washburn Rural at the 6A level. First quarter, Derby up 7. Washburn trying to respond. McKintis Adams with the cutback, taking it in for 6 to tie the game up. Derby would respond though. Dylan Edwards like a rocket. Here he goes, 56 yards. That would put the Panthers back on top. Washburn though, they would battle back. Late second half, Derby up 2 scores, and it is Adams again to bring Washburn back within a score at halftime. Derby, they beat Washburn 36-21. To 5A, undefeated Mays taking on a gritty Hutchinson team. I was at this game after a Mays failed fourth down on the opening possession. Hutch proceeded to hold the ball for nearly an entire quarter of gameplay before quarterback Nick Lang punches in the end zone to give the Salt Hawks the lead early in the second quarter. Mays, though, so much talent. They strike back. Avery Johnson, he's going to go ahead and hit Bryce Cahoon for the touchdown, and we are tied up at 7. Hutch would cap off another long drive with this touchdown by Devin Spiller to take the lead. And then after the score, Hutch, onside kick. Watch this. Oh, that I would hate to be the guy on the return team there. Hutch able to keep possession, but they would have to punt, and that left too much time for Avery Johnson. Jump pass to Deshaun Carter. That would tie the game up at 14 as we head into halftime. And Mays, they sneak away. They are still undefeated after the 21-14 win. To Northwest Kansas, Hayes playing host to Salina Central. Bryce Salmon's touchdown run here. And this is what you're seeing from Hayes. Just working the ball down the field, much like Hutch was in that game against Mays just a second ago. But Malik Baugh, another touchdown run here for Hayes, and then one more time. And this is where they're a little bit different this year. Kyrie's growing. He's going to make everybody miss, take it all the way to the crib. Hayes, they beat Salina Central 49-12. Staying in 5A, Andover Central, they took on Wamego Central. They end up falling. Their season ends 42-7. And now it's time for our game of the week. We are featuring the 4A level this week is 8-2 Towanda Circle on the road against 9-1 McPherson. Opening drive / opening play of the game from scrimmage for Circle. Chadwell here, he's actually going to find Ty Smith. And what a grab off the helmet. And all of a sudden, it's 7-0 Circle. We smell a little bit of an upset. Weston Rose this time, he's going to end up also finding the end zone here in just a second, as McPherson would then be up 13-7 in this one. But the PAT, it is no good. And then Chadwell, he's going to take it himself this time. And look at that touchdown there for McPherson. And then they would just keep striking it back, though. Gavin Richardson, there would end up being a pick 6 in this half. The first half was just a crazy one altogether. And McPherson, they were up 21-20 at half. But that's when everything changed. And McPherson just lighting it up in the second half. And they go on to get the win. They are on to the sub-state round after taking down the Thunderbirds 39-28. McPherson is on their way to the state semifinals. Now let's bring in KSN's Julia Labina. She had a front row seat to all of the action. Julia, how was the atmosphere out there?
Zach, 42 points in the second half for McPherson tonight. They enter their locker room with all the momentum after a big-time pick 6 by Gavin Richardson, and then on the ensuing drive, a nice grab in the end zone by Corey Mueller to put McPherson up 21-20. If it wasn't for this defense giving the Bullpups a spark, Circle could have done a lot more damage, could have been up at least a touchdown heading into the halftime, but because the Thunderbirds stunned McPherson with an opening play touchdown that put them up early. Circle played lights out that first half. Really big kudos to them in a historic season. Even McPherson head coach Jace Pavlovich opened his postgame speech applauding Circle because back in 2006, that was McPherson, a team just getting started and a team not many believed in, but look at them now heading to sub-state.
They smacked us in the mouth early on, and our kids persevered. I would rather have a much faster start than what we had, but the same thing happened round one against Mulvane. We're down at halftime. So these kids, they do stick together, and sometimes they're a pretty tough bunch to coach, but they are a pretty tough bunch, period, and nothing really rattles them, and that's what you need.
And to sub-state, they will face Wamego next Friday. After beating Circle here at McPherson College. Just a great win for the Bullpups, but they got to keep their season going next Friday. So here for you from McPherson, Julia Bina, KSN Sports.
Welcome back to Friday Football Fever. We'll kick things back up in Class 3A. An undefeated squad versus a 9-2 underdog. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Andale taking on Rock Creek. What have we seen from Andale this year? Well, they are dominant on offense. They can run the ball, and they play incredible defense. Nice little pick six here by Tegan Orth. He's going to take that back untouched to the end zone. Well, almost untouched. One little stiff arm there. How about a little bit more defense? This time it's going to be Andale's Riley Marks. He's going to end up getting the fumble recovery, and Andale would take over. And then, Cody Partheimer, he plays both ways, I believe, for this team. He's looked really good this year. He's going to take a long touchdown run in. You can see the score there. Andale, they get a dominant victory, 48-0. Also in 3A, 8-2 Cheney taking on 7-3 Clay Center. Clay Center, after taking down Trinity, they get the win in this one, 24-6. Here's a Class 2A sectional between Hoisington, the Cardinals, and the number 1 southeast of Saline. Third quarter, the Trojans are up 22-7. Luke Gebhard looks deep for Michael Murray. Murray get the 38-yard touchdown connection there. Then Gebhard, he's going to end up running to his left on this way, but then reverses the other way, and here he comes. This ends up being a 37-yard touchdown, and they were up 38-7 after that. Southeast of Saline, they bring home the win, 44-21. More 2A action, undefeated Kingman. They were at Beloit. Kingman takes the win, 35-6. All right, we've made it to Class 1A, a one-loss team versus a three-loss team. All four of those losses came in the first 3 weeks of the season. Both squads have been dominant ever since. I'm talking about 9-1 Wabaunsee and taking on 6-3 Conway Springs. Cold night at Conway. First quarter, Conway marches down the field with the help of Braden Coons. He takes it into the end zone for the touchdown for Conway. Fast forward to the second quarter, Isaac Winter. Wait, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. He breaks away. 80-yard touchdown there. Conway Springs with the victory, 39-14. Inman hosting Smith Center. Inman would start this game fast. Open at 50-yard run by the quarterback Tanner Heckel, and he's going to take that one deep into the red zone. Inman, they would end up capping off the drive with this 2-yard touchdown run, putting the Teutons up one score. And then Smith Center, they would get the ball down by one score, and Inman would force a fumble at midfield, and then they would get the ball back, quickly move down before half, punching it in for another touchdown. Then receiving touchdown for Eli Brunk, his second one of the game right there. Inman, they take the win over Smith Center 28-6. Staying at the 8-man 1 level, Little River, they defeat Chase County 48-40. Wichita County takes home the victory against Atwood 58-12. Also, Meade is at Hill City. Hill City, they get the win 68-50. To Canton Galva High School for an 8-man Division II matchup between the second-ranked undefeated Eagles and Lebo. Quarterback Garrett Mulby, he's going to take the snap, leaps over the goal line for the Eagles' first score. Then Maltby, he's going to go to the air, a sweet over-the-shoulder catch here by Lane McManus, 16-zip. And that's kind of what this game looked like throughout it as they just continued to roll. Canton Galva, they go on to get the win in this one as they continue to look really good, 52 or 52 rather, 2-6. Sharon Springs, they hosted Dighton in this one. And Axtell, they were at Osborne. Axtell wins that 52-6. Thunder Ridge, they're at Victoria. They get the 16-point victory. And remember, you can find highlights, scores, and more from games all across the Sunflower State online at ksn.com all season long. Weverly at Tescott, Wetmore's at Cunningham. How about some six-man scores? Northern Valley is at Ashland. And then finally, got Ingalls at Shaylin. Shaylin able to get the victory.